11. Introducing innovative technologies and managing change. Notice how nice it looked and then how it got all gross. That's what technology is for us today. Okay, let's make it cluttered again. The big words are the ones that got used most. So problem was used a lot. Technology was used a lot. We got to use technology to help our life, so we're going to use technology to help us solve problems the same way we solve any regular problem. What has gone awry in the past, and how might educational technology professionals improve in the future to introduce innovative technologies and manage their use to support learning and instruction? So we're going to do that. He didn't do the numbered list like I did, but I took from the paragraphs this. Right? Solving a problem with technology. All right, here we go. Look at these. Okay, I'm going to put them into the right places at the count of 3. So you can pause before then if you don't want to see the answer and try to put them in order yourself. 3, 2, 1. But we observe the symptoms. The example would be that, let's just say there's a lot of discipline referrals written for 11:30 a.m. for the past week. So that's a symptom. Reason why symptom is a problem. The students are unsafe at this time and they're not being held accountable. So reword problem as a need stated in measurable terms. So then I would need to say, we need to decrease the number of referrals written at this time. I need to think of a solution to hold them accountable, and we can do that with technological interventions. Right? So let's just say at this time, these kids don't have a class, or there's a teacher that's having construction outside of his house and he's late every day and then can't make it at 11:30. We're looking for an effective technology to help us solve that situation. So maybe something where they have to sign in at 11:30 and complete some work and score well on that work, or else there will be consequences, that kind of thing. That takes the place of our irresponsible teacher that doesn't leave his house on time. Then, formative assessment is where we measure how the kids are doing, whether the number of referrals is decreasing, maybe also whether they're doing better in their fluency. And the summative evaluation, which would be at the end of the year where we let that teacher go, whatever his name is, that doesn't know how to come to work on time, and figure out how to improve on the process. Right, clutter. Users. So once you come up with a viable solution, the next question we should ask is, how prepared are the relevant users? So let's look at our users here. Innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards. Somewhere around the graph would be an explanation. Perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness. There's a human element to our tech. To get them, the humans, to buy into what we're doing, they need to perceive its ease of use as being very easy to use, and perceived usefulness in that they're not wasting their time. And yeah, that's what I gather from that. Look over here, focus on this. Whether or not people choose to use a technology and how they use it depends on their perceptions of the technology's ability to serve their interests. Just what kind of value does it add? Right? Here we go. The innovators are the ones who will drive the change process and may or may not be members of the community, but who will be effective in communicating the significance of the innovation. So those are our excited folks. Our early adopters, they're the ones who are willing to try out new things, and they're pretty influential. The early majority would be like, they're the ones that are thoughtful, willing to change once the advantages of change have been clearly demonstrated. Then the late majority, they're the ones that are kind of skeptical, but they'll also adopt the new innovation. The innovation, sorry, that's redundant. And when the vast majority are already regular users. So once there's a lot of people doing it, late majority will join in. And then our laggards, who probably don't even like you because you like tech, really reluctant. And even when everybody's doing it, they still won't. And, more power to them, I guess. Right. So let's look at some quotes. Is that a thing? Everyone's using it? Send me a link. Which one is that? In 3, 2, 1. Early majority. Everyone's using it. Is that a thing? They didn't know what it was before, but they're willing to use it. There we go. Shut up. Why didn't they invent that earlier? when do I get that installed on my laptop? That person, sorry lady, I bet you don't really talk like that. You probably have a lovely voice. That will be 3, 2, 1, an early adopter. See another one. Oh, more of that dog and pony show stuff, huh? Old Man McGinty's using it? Can you install it for me so I can be one of the teachers with a generic clip art school building as a profile picture? Who's that? In 3, 2, 1, that's late majority. Late majority would be the folks that are skeptical, that don't really want to do it, but when they see that, I'll talk about that later too, the author mentions that if they see a regular person like Old Man McGinty doing it, then they will be a lot more willing to join. I can't believe I didn't come up with that app myself. I am going to send a link out in one of those mass emails nobody reads, singing the praises of this. This would be our 3, 2, 1 innovator. So our innovator probably makes apps themselves or is a really like an app aficionado. They're going to really advocate. I'm going to send a link out, and in those, nobody reads those emails, like for real. Come on. You know who's last? Get out of my classroom. Let's just don't say we did, capiche? Right? So we've got our laggards. They probably don't like us. The only thing we can hope for later on is when everybody is doing it, students are happy, clients are happy, then maybe they'll do it. Right? Here's strategies for introducing tech to users. There wasn't a numbered list for this, so I made one. Right? Take a look at it. I'm going to put them in the right places in 3, 2, and remember you can pause. 1. Okay, now. Time's up. Here we go. So when you're introducing tech to users, we're always measuring the perceived usefulness. So we want to know what the people are thinking, if we've burned them out, or if they're loving it, or somewhere in between. Identify current groups of users, so you'll know which of your coworkers belongs in each of these 5 groups, and you'll know who to bribe with coffee and donuts or pizza later. Involve receptive people first, but also try the middle. The author even mentions, so Spector even says that, I don't know if it's backed up by research or not, he didn't quote anybody, but he said that it would be helpful to include the middle, use the middle group to entice the right side of the curve. Gain momentum for tech use. So this could have been done at any of the steps, but gain a lot of momentum definitely before involving the laggards and the late majority. Management of change. Get that delta symbol over there. So effective management of change involves continually, just like I said, measuring the targets of your goals. It was a really inspiring class, and we played this game, and we saved the world. Now, when we had to explain formative assessment and summative assessment, we say, yeah, we did recover the instructional materials and save the world, but we could have done it faster or cheaper or with less loss or less opportunity cost or things like that. Right? So you'll find this in the reading also. Don't try to change too much too fast. It's not wise to change too much. People will burn out. People like routines and to be able to go on autopilot in the day and then go home to their family. So with that being said, here's when changing everything quickly actually worked. And this is Spector's wording, not mine. Or I'm hoping it is. It's getting late. Okay, that he said something like that. That's the best I can say at this point. White screen. All right, so imagine United States Air Force Academy. Here we are. The mission statement: increase aeronautical engineering majors. Symptom: decrease in aeronautical engineering majors. Problem: students started out interested, then they weren't. Classes were mostly pencil-solving aeronautical problems. The need: decreased number of students leaving AEM. And probably increase engagement, but there's no way to measure. We can measure the decrease in the number of the leaving students. All right. So the tech was interactive simulations. Because think of it like this, they signed up to do space stuff, and why was USAFA, it doesn't go through the whole, like all 6, but why was USAFA an ideal place for radical change? And if you're not sure, just in other words, what kind of users were these students? So the reason, it worked, right? So why did it work? Think about what kind of users were they? I mean, it's kind of obvious, like were they the laggards? Was it like a whole bunch of laggards and then they changed everything around and then things were like rainbows and unicorns and whatever? That wasn't the case, right? They were on the innovator and early adopter side. That's why they were chosen for the program in the first place, even before they made it all interesting and stuff. So I made a 6-step process for solving a problem with technology, the 5 groups, user groups, and moving on from that, some advice or a cautionary tale about not changing too much too fast, and to be constantly monitoring everything so that we can make sure that we are effective. And here are the references. Thanks.